So this is why your outreach for your agency isn't getting you any results or clients or making you money. Now, there's going to be some people who watch this video, especially the cold outreach gurus. You probably aren't going to like what I'm going to say in this video, but I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to tell the truth. So, look, let's be clear. Now that the agency space has become very saturated, most of these business owners have been pitched a million times before in their DMs, cold email, or even some cold calls. So again, like I always say, what worked 5 years ago doesn't work today. The same outreach methods don't work, but people are doing the same thing over and over again. Now, to be clear, there's some nuance, might be the word, where obviously different industries are at different levels of saturation. Some business owners have been pitched less than others. So it's hard to give a general rule across the board for every single industry. But I do know this to be true for most industries, because most industries have been pitched by every single, Iman Gadzi wannabe under the sun. So let's be clear. The best clients to work for, the best clients to sign and work with are the clients that are already making money, that are already successful. So let's just say 7 and 8 figure businesses, right? You don't want to start with a beginner, or you don't want to work with a beginner. Now, sorry to break it to you, but respectable 7 and 8 figure companies, the owners of these companies, the managers of these companies, they're not going to reply to your cold email with the subject line, quick frigging question, right? Not going to happen. Outliers, you might get 1, you might get 2, but I'm talking about as a general rule across the board, playing the numbers game for the average person getting started. You ain't going to sign that 7 and 8 figure business owner by some scripted cold email. You're just not. Again, especially in the really saturated industries that have seen the same email scripts and outreach methods over and over again, it's just not going to work. So from my experience and from the people who I know in the industry, and I work with info products, but I also have good friends in like the e-commerce space and different industries. And they all say the same thing. Those things aren't going to work. The way that I've signed my biggest clients, and this isn't the sexy way, like this isn't what you want to hear, right? This isn't sexy. This isn't going to sell some course, what I'm about to say, but unfortunately it's the truth. The way I've signed my biggest clients is through referrals. That's it. That's the way that my biggest clients who've paid me the most money, who have been with me the longest, who are the easiest to get results, those are the way that I've signed them. In fact, one of my biggest clients right now, I've been working with him for 2.5 years. He's got 2 mil subs on YouTube. He's like a big personal brand. I outreached to him multiple times. Facebook, Instagram, email, constantly outreach to him. Could never get him to reply. A few months go by. I happened, luckily, to sign his friend as a client. Did great work for his friend. And then his friend randomly referred him to me. And I just got an email off this guy who was one of my dream clients, who was in the top 5 people I wanted to work with in my space. But I never got a reply from him. Randomly, I got an email from him being like, hey, my friends just referred me to you for advertising. Let's get on a call. That's the way I signed the big client. It's not sexy. It's not what you want to hear. I know you just want to go into Lemlist and instantly and send some cold emails, but that's the truth, right? Now, I don't want us to come on this video and be all doom and gloom, right? I don't want to be a negative Nancy. So I want to give you some practical steps on what I would actually do to sign, my first few clients, or at least sign some big clients, right? If you do the cold outreach methods, you'll be able to sign a client. But usually what happens is that you're just starting out, you sign any client you can, which, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you sign 5 bad clients, then you're going to hate the agency and you're going to give up, right? Because your life and business becomes a friggin' nightmare when all of your clients are low value clients that you can't get results for, that are needy and slack, and you just end up hating your life and your business. Again, I've been there. I've worked with like the low-level clients. But here's some practical steps. And this is genuinely what I would do if I was a beginner. And this is actually what I did. Actually, scrap that, what I would do. This is what I did. And I started out, just so you know, I had a bit of experience in advertising. I was running ads for different offers and stuff before I started my agency. But I still in the beginning didn't have like the confidence or even probably the tenacity to go out and sign the big clients. So this is what I did instead. And this is what I would recommend anyone doing, especially if you're starting out and especially if you don't already have a skill set. So if you're all starting an advertising agency and you've never run Facebook ads before, it's very difficult to sign the client and it's going to be difficult to get them results. So here's what I would genuinely do. And this is what I did. So when I started out pitching people for my agency, I was doing all the cold outreach methods, Facebook, Instagram, cold email, didn't get any results. Maybe I didn't have the right training. Maybe I was stupid, whatever it is, right? Whatever, I don't know, but it didn't get me results. I didn't sign the clients I wanted to, and really not clients at all. Then what I decided to do was I connected with a few different agency owners. And because I knew how to run ads, I just didn't really like the sales side of building an agency. I just partnered with what I call like strategic partnerships, where I built strategic partnerships with a few different agencies. And I just said to them, hey, you sign a client, give me the work, I'll fulfill on it. And you just give me, a percentage of your retainer, or you just give me like a flat fee every single month to run the ads. And that's what I did for maybe about a year-ish. And here's the reason why that works. Because in the beginning, you're going to listen to this and you think, Sam, that sucks. Like, why would I do all the work and not get paid the full retainer? Like, if this agency is charging them $4K a month, why am I only going to get paid $1K a month to do the work? And I get the mindset, but hear me out. One of the reasons why this is so good is, number one, you can sign clients without doing the sales. So I used to wake up and I used to get a message off one of my strategic partners and be like, hey, Sam, I've just signed a new brand, or hey, I've just signed this influencer. We're going to do this campaign for them. Can you run their ads for them? Well, and then my income grew. I was desperate for money at the time. So that was a really good friggin' message to receive in the morning, knowing that I've just technically signed a new client without doing any work to do the outreach. Yes, I had to do the fulfillment, but in the beginning, because I wasn't very good at sales and I wasn't very confident with outreach, I didn't really know what I was doing, I was able to earn money and sign clients without doing any sales calls, which me as an introvert and someone who doesn't really like sales, that was perfect for me. And again, I didn't earn as much money as I could, but I was getting clients. Another reason why this works really well, and this is kind of like the main part, is that one of the agencies that I partnered with, they had a very good network. They were already well established and they had, lots of different clients. And the caliber of client that I was able to work with whilst basically subcontracting for that agency was bigger than any other client I could assign by myself. The clients that I was working with, again, I was in the info product space, so they were two Comma Club Award winners. They were decent names in the industry. I had already heard of a few of them before we started working with them. They were great to work with. There was no way I was going to sign them by myself. This, younger guy with no social proof as much, no credibility, not really the confidence to go out and sign these big clients. I was working with these big influencers. And guess what? Once I stopped working with that agency, I can still use that person as a case study for myself. So when I stopped that and I started signing the end client myself, instead of me being like, oh shit, I don't have any case studies, I'll work for you for free for a testimonial or whatever kind of like strategy you do when you're just starting out, I was able to be like, no, I've worked with all these big people. These are the results that we got them. I couldn't have signed those clients by myself. But now I had worked with them for a year plus, I had this client roster that I'd helped. So then when I did go and outreach to people myself, I had all of these case studies. And that's the biggest thing, right? When you're trying to sign a client for a service, having case studies in the niche of people they've heard of is the biggest hack in the world. And the only reason I was able to go out when I started prospecting for my agency and said, hey, look at all these results and all these people I've worked with, it was because I partnered with those agencies in the beginning. And you can do that for anything. I did it for paid advertising. You can do it for funnel building, short form content. It's just the easiest way to get case studies and social proof and to build up your confidence as an agency owner. And these agencies, because the whole agency space has been built on kind of modeling what like Iman Gadzhi taught everyone, which was contract arbitrage, which was basically sign a client, outsource the work. Now, because stuff like paid advertising has become harder, these agencies are really looking for some like skilled people, like hiring, a contractor with no experience from like a third world country doesn't really work anymore for like paid advertising. So there's a huge demand for people who will actually provide good results for their clients. So there's a lot of agencies out there who are desperate for team members, not even team members, desperate for subcontractors. And that was the demand that I filled. And it was really, really easy to build these strategic partnerships with these agencies. And I just got paid a percentage of the retainer or a flat fee. Again, it wasn't anything crazy in the beginning. I got paid. I remember I was running ads for someone and they paid me $750 a month, which isn't bad. It's not good. But I didn't have to speak to the client, didn't have to do sales calls, didn't have to outreach to them. I just ran a few ads for them in their ads manager, and it wasn't like a huge budget or anything like that. And as I grew and built up more credibility, I started taking a percentage of the profit. I started charging $1,500 a month for certain accounts. So I was earning anywhere between like 5 to 10K doing this. And again, was I rich? No. Did it, make me a millionaire? No. But did it allow me to quit my job, provide for myself, travel the world, live a pretty good life? Yes, it did. Okay, so that's the first thing that I would do is if you're really desperate for money to get social proof, you just want to start building momentum, go and subcontract for different agencies who have the clients you want to work with in the future. It will give you the confidence, give you the social proof, the credibility, and then give you the case studies as well that you can use in the future to sign more clients. So that's step number one. There is a second way, which is a bit related to that. And then there's a third way, which is a little bit different as well. And some of you might be like, oh, well, what, Sam, like you're telling me to do this one thing and then now you're telling me to do another way. Let's be friggin' real here. There's not just one way to build a business. There's not just one system, even though, again, everyone who sells a course or a program, and, I've done this for my clients in the messaging. So I'm not saying like, oh, they're all bad and I'm all good. Like in marketing, what you want to do is sell someone on your system and be like, this is the only way to get the result. Newsflash, that isn't true, right? In your marketing message, you should probably say that, and that should be the narrative that you build. But there's multiple different ways you can build a business, right? Which is unfortunate because this is what confuses people. So if you don't like the first way that I just said, then try the second way. And again, this is actually all coming from experience, by the way. I did the thing I just told you to do, right? I'm not it's not hypothetical, okay? Nearly didn't say that word correctly. This isn't just theory, this is what I did, right? And again, my strategy isn't based off like a script or like a few words to say in the Instagram DM. It's like a strategy. So the strategy doesn't get old the way you outreach to the people might, but that strategy would still work today, 100%. Number two, again, similar, different. A lot of you aren't going to like this either because it's not a sexy answer. I couldn't create a course selling this solution, okay? But again, this is actually what I did. Second best way is to get a job. I know, you're disappointed in me. You come to this video to try and see how you can get more clients with outreach, and I'm telling you to get a 9 to 5. I get it. I'm very disappointing. But it's really under friggin' rated. I say frigging. I'd say the F word all the time, but I don't know if I'm going to get like blacklisted on YouTube for swearing too much. I don't know how it works, honestly, not looked into it. So I say frigging, even though it's not something naturally I would say. I'd say fucking. So it's not fucking sexy, but this is what I did. After I had my first few failed businesses, before I started the agency, I got a job for someone as a marketer. And what I did was effectively over the 12 months I worked for this guy, I essentially became his head marketer. ran his ads, built his funnels, did his emails, did absolutely everything across the business, even did some sales stuff, did some live events, did webinar scripts, everything. I did everything from a marketing perspective. Now, again, what that allowed me to do was to become a better marketer without risking my own money. This guy, he was a very good guy to work for, he'll give me, hey, go and spend what you want on the ads as long as, we can get a return or you're confident in it. You can just go and do your thing. So for 12 months, I was basically just practicing, learning, becoming better. I didn't get paid that much. I wasn't rich, but I was enjoying the work and I was getting a ton of experience. And again, that gives me the confidence then to go out and actually sign bigger and better clients because I'm like, I know I can do this thing. And I think that's like an undervalued, maybe it was just me because I'll be honest, I had a very limited mindset, a lot of limiting beliefs. I'm not a very naturally confident person. I know there's some agency owners out there who will just like go and sign the big clients and they don't really give a shit. For me, I had fear, right? I had fear about outreaching to people, fear about building a business, fear about, people laughing at me if I got rejected or whatever it is, right? So it's undervalued actually just doing some work and getting results for someone. That gives you a massive amount of confidence that you can bring into your future, outreach efforts. Anyway, so I worked for this guy for 12 months. And again, what that allowed me to do was get the skills. But then number two, it allowed me to get a really good freaking case study. And I didn't do this straight away because of a confidence thing, but further down the line, what I just did is I just outreached to that guy's, after I'd finished working with him, I outreached to his competitors and was like, hey, I used to be the head marketer for this guy. I got him this result, this result, this result. This was all the work I did for him. How about I help you grow now? I'm just starting out my own company. Boom. Again, the people that I signed as a result of that outreach strategy, and there was no strategy in terms of a script. It was just like, hey, I used to work for this guy. He's in the same niche as you. He's selling the same stuff as you. We got him these amazing results. I'm starting my own company. I'd love to help you do the same. And that allowed me to get my foot in the door and sign clients who, if I didn't have that case study, if I didn't work for that competitor, no way would I have been able to get those results. So again, similar to the last strategy, where it's about how can you get these amazing case studies that allow you to go out and get the big clients. And again, that's like an advantage no one has. Everyone is just out there starting their agency, sending cold emails, sending cold DMs, no case studies, no confidence. And people get results with it. Obviously people have built an agency from scratch. I wasn't one of those people. Maybe I wasn't good enough. I don't know what it is. I had to have the case studies and the experience and the confidence built up previously. That was just me. I don't know. Again, maybe it's, maybe I'm just not, the best entrepreneur in the world or whatever it is, but I just needed that. And that helped me massively because again, I just had this amazing case study that no other agency owner who was just starting out had. And it gave me a total unfair advantage on doing my outreach. Because then at that point, because I had this amazing case study, and then when I went and did the subcontracting for the other agencies as well, I had all of these big people that I'd worked with. It didn't matter what my opening line was for an email. It didn't matter what message I sent them inside of the DM. Like my script was probably piss poor. It was probably crap. But it didn't matter because I just referenced all the people I'd already worked for and they were like, okay, cool. That grabs your prospect's attention much more than a quick question subject line or they do like personalization on the first email, whatever it is, I don't know. There's nothing that's going to grab your prospect's attention more than a good relevant case study for their niche. And that's what I was able to get before I actually started going out and prospecting people myself, which was a huge unfair advantage. So when I actually did that and I started prospecting these bigger people, I didn't struggle to get the client. Like I had a lot of people wanting to work with me after I actually just sent all of the messages. And again, my DMs weren't anything amazing. It was purely because I had those results. So that's the second thing. Now, some of you aren't going to like that because it means you're not building your business straight away and it means delayed gratification, right? If you can't go and work for someone for 12 months, even though I think it's one of the best and most underrated things, There is another strategy that you can do, and this one just takes a little bit more time and a little bit more patience. So this is if you are just starting out and you don't have any case studies or whatever it is, right? Again, you can do like the volume game. Again, depends what niche, but you can do the volume game where you're just sending out thousands of cold emails a day and doing hundreds of DMs, and you got VAs doing it, and you've got 5 Instagram accounts, and you're getting banned on Facebook, and then you've got like a $2,000 a month Lemless bill. I don't know how much those tools cost, but I've used them in the past, but I can't remember. Anyway, this is what I would do. I would get a list of like your top, Russell Brunson says dream 100. Let's not go for 100, a bit intimidating. Let's just say 10. You want to pick your niche, and you want to pick the 10 top clients that you want to work with. Now, they can't be the top of the top of the top. So for example, like I'm in the info product space. So I'm not going to go and target, I'm going to target Russell Brunson as my top 10. Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, or whatever. Like, I'm not going to target those influencers, right? They're just not going to, very rarely are they probably going to work with an agency, but they're not going to work with a new person, regardless of how good my outreach is. So you need to be a little bit more realistic on the people that you can get, but obviously don't go for like a beginner person, right? So you need like ambitious but realistic people that you could potentially sign as clients. And what you want to do is the most hyper-personalized outreach you can. And again, this isn't sexy because it's not quick, it's not automated, it's not something you can outsource to a VA, and therefore this is why a lot of people don't teach it, or at least don't sell it, because it's not going to make them sales for the course where they teach agencies how to grow a business. But luckily for you guys, I don't have one, and I don't intend on having one. So, I'm not going to have one. So you want to do hyper-personalized outreach, and this is what I would do. So for example, if you wanted to get like an email marketing client, the best thing you could do is outreach to this person and send them 2 to 3 emails that you've already written for them, right? You could do that in a morning. Like all you got to do, say for example, again, in the info product space, I would just look at one of the people that I would like. I'd look at their Instagram. I would see what products they have. So if they had like a low ticket course, or maybe they were getting people to book in a call with their sales team, I would go and write them 2 to 3 emails that get people to book in a call. And you just message them and be like, hey man, really love your stuff. What I wanted to do was just, write you 3 emails. I can see you selling this thing. I wanted to write you a few emails free of charge that you can use to your email list that will get you more book calls in. Free to use them. Here you go. Would love to know how they work for you. You don't pitch them. You don't be like, if they work for you, then, this is how much I'll charge you to become a client. Like, don't send it with like huge expectations. Just come across as, even if you're not genuine, come across as genuine and just be like, hey man, love your stuff. Saw that you promoted this thing. Wanted to write you a few emails to showcase you what I can do. Totally free of charge. Feel free to use them if you like. Have an amazing day, right? Something like that. And then you can follow up with them afterwards. Be like, hey man, did you manage to send those emails out? And obviously the emails have got to be good, or whatever work you produce for them has to be good, right? So don't just rush it. Don't chat GPT it. Don't be a dick, right? You need to produce quality work and send it without any expectations. And what you can do, like if you're working a job or something like that, you can just be like, all right, I'm going to outreach to 1 person a day. I know you're not going to like that. 1 person a day? What, Sam? Are you joking? How am I supposed to build a business outreaching to 1 person a day? This is what you can do. Get up in the morning before work, and then you can write the emails. Then on your lunch break at work, send the messages, send it via email, send it via LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, all the platforms, send them the same message, and then detach. And then you finish the rest of your workday, right? The next day, and if you really want to work harder, you can do another one in the evening. Write the emails in the evening, send it to the second influencer. So maybe you could do 2 a day. But this is what I would do, where I do super personalized outreach. It takes longer, but that is really the only way you're going to grab, again, like a really great company's attention, is by doing something different to everyone else. And what most people do is just send them a very short paragraph inside of the DM that is really general. Or people will send these Loom videos that are made from like an automation software where you watch the video and they're like scrolling on your social media account, but they aren't saying anything specific to you because it's like this automated software where it looks like they're scrolling your profile, but the words that come out of the mouth are shit. Like it's just some general crap that is not relevant to you. So be a little bit different. Again, I've done that where I used to send Loom videos to people, like individual Loom videos every single day. And I remember like I had like a VA actually helping me like source the people from Instagram. And then I would just have a big list of like Loom videos I would send people. And it sucked. And it wasn't very good. It wasn't fun. I used to hate it. Every Loom video would take me like 10 minutes to send to them, right? For one person. But guess what? Like I mentioned at the beginning of that video, that friend, that the big client that I signed his friend first who referred me. How did I sign that friend? By sending him a personalized Loom video saying what we could do for him. And then he refers me that big dream client. I had someone message me the other day who was like, hey, I'm starting like a short form agency. I'm like prospecting people. And I know it's not exciting or sexy to say, but I just said to him, dude, if you really want someone as a client, go and edit, the latest podcast episode and cut it up into like 3 or 4 viral pieces and send it to them for free and be like, hey, use this. Guarantee they probably use it. And if it works and it gets some good views, then they'll come back. And if it doesn't, you've created goodwill and maybe they have a friend further down the line that they refer to you because you've shown that you're willing to put in the work beforehand. So again, probably not going to go, this video itself probably isn't going to go crazy because it's not me sharing some like secret hack shortcut that is going to get you a ton of clients. And I'm not trying to make it sound, super easy because it's not. But they're just the ways that I was able to get like big clients who I enjoyed working with that paid me a lot. Like I said, a few of them now, we've just crossed 2.5 years together. Like 2.5 years, like no one has that type of retention. So they're the clients that you want to work with, right? You don't want to work with the clients who, leave after 3 months. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope it was helpful. Again, those are just the things that have helped me grow my agency. I don't have the biggest agency. I'm not like a multi-billionaire from running the agency. But I do feel like I have had a better experience after I did all that stuff. I feel like I've had a better experience and more longevity than a lot of other people that follow more of the traditional methods of doing outreach. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.